Runs with Stars is written by Darcy White-Crowe and Heather O'Connor and illustrated by Lenny Lishenko. This is the picture book about the Ojibwe horse, the only indigenous bred horse in Canada. Runs with Stars copyright is 2022 by Second Story Press. My grandfather has 8 Ojibwe horses. I love them all, but Star is special. She is 7 like me. We were born on the same day. Star will soon be a mother. Her belly is big and with the foal she carries. Every day I ask, "Is it time, Miss Shumis?" Every day he answers, "Not today, Newsish, but soon." Where did the horses come from, Miss Shumis? Grandfather has been telling me stories about the horses for as long as I can remember, so that one day I can tell them too. Grandfather's eyes crinkle up. I have shared this story with you so many times. Tell me how it starts. I laugh. It starts with your grandfather. Grandfather smiles and ruffles my hair. When my grandfather was a boy, herds of Ojibwe horses ran in the woods like the deer. In winter, when the wolves were hungry and the ice was thick, they helped our people travel, haul wood, and go trapping. Elders say they were always here. The horses were small but strong. Like me? Like you. The next day I asked again, "Is it time, Miss Shumis?" "Not today, but soon." The horses amble over. I give each one a scratch and a carrot. I don't want them to know I have a favorite. Star noses me for the special treat I have just for her. What happened to the herds, Miss Shumis? By the time my father was a boy, the world had changed. Our people didn't need horses to haul wood or run trap lines anymore. They used snow machines. Why? You feed a snow machine only when you use it. A horse needs food and water every day. Like me? Like you. The next day I helped grandfather groom the horses. "Is it time, Miss Shumis?" I asked. "Not today, but soon." Star's belly is wide and round. As I brush, her baby pushes against my hand. "Miss Shumis, look!" Grandfather nods. "Seems you are not the only impatient one." "Soon, little one," I whisper. To help us wait, grandfather tells the rest of his story. Each year the herds grew smaller until the thunder of hooves in the forest faded away. No one knows why. By the time I was a boy, there were only 4 Ojibwe horses left at Lac La Croix. They slipped in and out of the woods like ghosts. My favorite was a bay mare with 1 white stocking. One winter, some men came and took the horses away. I never saw them again. I was 7. Like me. Like you. I learned years later that the horses were taken across Lac La Croix to a place where they could run free. The mares were bred with a Mustang stallion, and over time the little herd grew big, and host farms here and to the south took in small groups. Growing up, your mother never knew the horses. I didn't want you to grow up without them too, and that's why I decided to breed Ojibwe horses myself. Star was our first foal. She arrived the same day as you, my first grandchild. When I grow up, Mishkumish, I'm going to raise Ojibwe horses too. Grandfather pats my hand. I would like that. That night I dream of horses. They run, too many to count, through a shimmering sky. I see a bay with 1 white stocking. Beside her, kicking up her heels, are Star and a small silver foal. Something startles them, and with a flicker, they are gone. I open my eyes. Grandfather has come to wake me. "It's time," he says. Grandmother Moon rides high in the sky, lighting our path to the barn. Star lies in the hay, and beside her a beautiful foal, as silvery as the dawn. She lifts her head and looks at me. I tell grandfather about the foal in my dream. Perhaps she was whispering her name to you, he says. Shall we call her Wijbij Mamatun Ananagunan? Runs with stars. I like the sound of that. Star noses her baby, Wijabim Mamatun Anagunan, and pushes up on her two wobbly legs and then falls. Star nudges her once more, and this time the foal's legs hold her up. Hello again, little one, I whisper. Soon you will be big and strong like me, and we will run with the stars together. The Ojibwe horse, also known as the Lac La Croix indigenous pony, was bred by Ojibwe people living around the western part of Lake Superior. It is one of two Canadian horse breeds. The other is the Canadian horse. Once thousands of Ojibwe horses roamed the boreal forests of what is now northwestern Ontario and Minnesota. By 1977, only 4 remained in the wild. Biziki, Lillian, Darkface, and Diamond lived in the woods around Lac La Croix First Nation next to Quetico Provincial Park. The government called them a health hazard and planned to destroy them. Fred Isham, who once lived at Lac La Croix, came to their rescue. He and 3 friends roped the 4 mares, loaded them into a horse trailer, and drove them across the frozen lake to Beaufort, Minnesota, where they were bred with a registered Spanish Mustang called Smokey. As the herd grew, dedicated people in Canada and the United States took on breeding groups of 6 to 8 horses. The population now stands at about 175. Today, these smart, friendly horses are often used in tourism, equine therapy, and cultural heritage programs. They're also popular saddle horses. In February 2018, Lac La Croix First Nation welcomed home its own breeding group, 5 mares and a stallion. It was a happy day. To learn more about the Ojibwe horse, visit Canadian Encyclopedia or the Ojibwe Horse Society websites.